This is Peter J. Pollack, MD, with Medical Practice Trends, and on our podcast today, our guest is Mike Meikle of Hawthorne Group, a consulting firm out of Richmond, Virginia. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Dr. Pollack.
So today we're going to be talking about mobile devices and apps, and we were talking earlier about a previous podcast we had on EMR hardware, talking about tablet computers and things like that. But nowadays, whenever someone talks about a mobile device or a tablet, they're pretty much talking about an iPad. I guess we know why most people are turning to iPads, but what makes the iPad in general so attractive to physicians?
Well, besides being sleek and shiny and pretty, one of the main reasons why physicians have been bringing this into their practice is, one, because they were, as a consumer, attracted to it. And since they were attracted to the interface, all the applications flowed within it, its form factor, they wanted to bring it to work and use it because they were very happy with it, very pleased with how it worked. One of the other reasons is physicians, well, at least a lot of them, have had previous experience with PC tablets, either the clamshell design or some of the older Fujitsus where you could do handwriting recognition. They were very clunky and they're cumbersome and they had poor battery life. And also the applications that were written for them didn't work so well because they were originally written for an actual desktop PC. So they're excited to use a tablet that actually functions great. And next is there's a huge amount of applications available that are healthcare related for an iPad or an iPhone. There's like 17,000 plus and growing every day. So that's a huge amount of flexibility for healthcare providers. You know, how they can treat their patients, how they can, complete administrative tasks, a huge amount of productivity available. One of the other great points is that it's now starting to become, at least in larger healthcare organizations, now doctors are receiving a stipend to buy the technology that they want to use to put in onto the corporate network, and most of them are turning toward an iPad device with this stipend instead of getting a laptop or a desktop. So it's an actual incentive to go out and get an iDevice, iPad, iPhone. So that's also pushing the market forward.
Now, currently, the vast majority of certified EHR systems are Windows-based or non-Mac. I know there's a couple of Mac systems out there, but you're not necessarily talking about people who have Mac EMR systems, but just EMR systems in general, right, who are using an iPad as their end-user device.
That's right. And there's, in some larger organizations, healthcare providers are addressing the whole issue of non-Mac EMRs working on an iPad by using a virtual desktop infrastructure. Now, this, of course, considerable size organization, but where it pushes out a Windows desktop to your iPad, you can use your EMR on the iPad, and then you can log out of that virtual desktop, and you're back to your iPad's operating system interface. So that's one of the ways they're addressing that issue.
Well, so I've actually kind of hedged my bets. I mean, we have a Windows server-based EMR and we have Windows devices, but we also have some Apple devices. So we're always looking to see what works best in our particular network infrastructure. What would be some drawbacks of an iPad? I mean, I can think of a couple right off the bat. I'm trying to imagine typing something while you're holding this in one hand.
Right. It's the whole graphical user interface, or GUI, which is great for viewing, but for actually entering data, it's a little dicey, especially if you're starting to do a lot of note-taking and whatnot, because there's no handwriting recognition, which the PC tablets had, however imperfect. Whether or not Apple's going to deal with that in the near term is unknown, but we can assume they will. But yeah, graphical user interface is a problem. The second issue is that iDevices don't have a robust security out of the box. You got to use third-party offerings to kind of fill in the security gaps. And if you don't have a concerted effort to make an iPad or iPhone secure, then it's very open for malicious attacks and for just being generally insecure as a device. It can be laid on a desk without a pin to lock it out, or it saves all of its usernames and passwords automatically. So there's a lot of issues with that.
And especially with these recent high-tech enforcement issues, I would imagine that the iPad's the one gadget in the office that the doctor's going to want to take home at the end of the day. So it's even more critical to make sure that that's secure.
And that ties into, are you encrypting the storage media on the iPad? Do you have a remote wipe capability? Apple doesn't support that yet. A lot of these things have to be configured and have to be considered before you start storing PHI onto an iPad.
Besides the iPad, I guess we can talk about other smartphones and other mobile devices. Where do you see some of the future trends in this aspect?
Well, I mean, Android's making a lot of strides forward with its upcoming Honeycomb tablet computer, and Android tablets are also very popular. And of course, the iPhone and Android phones are both very popular for applications that are written specifically for them. Some of these applications that are very popular are something called like Calculate, or there's one called DR Chrono, EMR. There's iPharmacy, there's Medscape, there's Hippocrates. These are either for iPhone or Android. Very popular, and they're designed for that small form factor that the iPhone has, that you can accomplish the tasks that they're designed for. Whereas like EMRs on, say, an iPad, they've never really been designed for that form factor. So, doing the pinch and trying to expand the screen and try to enter data into small fields is very cumbersome because they were never developed for that. But going forward, you're going to see a lot more of the iDevice and the Android devices making inroads because they have long battery life. Their form factor is great. They don't weigh very much. And it's just an overall polished presentation, whereas doctors had kind of labored under, let me drag the laptop to the next patient or go to the desktop and I have to log in again, or okay, there's this PC tablet and the battery runs out in 3 hours and it's kind of clunky with the clamshell. So it's getting a lot of traction just because of its form factor alone.
Very cool. So could you maybe predict some sort of convergence of technology where these tablets get more sophisticated and we're able to do more and more things, and where basically you're just running in a wireless network and don't really have computers, you just have these devices?
Well, there's definitely a lot of prognostication around that topic. And basically, with the introduction of the iPad, Apple kind of turned the tablet market on its ear. Before it's kind of stayed, not a lot of acceptance now, so everybody wants one because of the presentation. So we can look forward to seeing tablets and then even smartphones becoming more and more your primary computer. Even now, with some smartphones, you can buy what looks like a laptop, but there's no guts to it. You plug your smartphone into it, you open up the cover, and it's a screen, and your smartphone is actually a laptop now. It has the keyboard, it has a monitor, and then when you want to leave, you pull your smartphone out of that laptop device, and you take it with you. You can see that probably happening with, the iPad adding more functionality, like I said, with handwriting and maybe a larger screen, being able to maybe dock it into keyboard and monitor more effectively, etc. So you're going to see more and more of that, especially as computing power gets greater and greater. And also, even Apple is pushing the iPad and iDevices as a healthcare productivity enabling device.
Interesting.
So you definitely see that in the future, near future, definitely.
Okay, well, thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.